Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Torch Talk, a podcast for a roundabout kind of day. I'm your host, Rogue Leader, and along with me is Shady Potato,
How's it going, everyone? Shady Potato here.
and alongside him, the Chaotic Jedi.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
And lastly, we have Haiti Shadow Gaming over there.
Hello, buddies.
So, as we usually as we usually begin this show, how is everyone's day? Tato, how has your day been?
Well, first, before I get into that, I wanna share an observation I had about Haiti and Haiti how Hades introduced himself. It reminded me of that one dude from the Goonies, the "Hey you guys."
now you have to admit it's a huge improvement over last episode's sup.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, that is a major improvement.
Major
You actually said a whole sentence.
Yay!
Yeah, he actually did.
It was even a whole sentence. It was hello, buddies.
Upgraded from at least you upgraded from just the sup.
Upgraded from one word to two.
Yeah.
Yay!
Listen. By the 50th
You went-
one,
You went from one syllable to four. Okay, that's an improvement. But as far as my day is concerned, it was all right. It was a little rough because my daughter is being a real stinker. She's currently fighting sleep as we speak.
First, it's refusing the naps. Now it's refusing the sleeps.
Well, we couldn't take a nap today because we didn't wake up until like 12 because last night she didn't go to sleep until 1 o'clock in the morning.
just a bundle of joy.
Aren't they
Now
always?
again, she's fighting sleep. So yeah, that's how my day's going.
I see. Jedi, how has your day been going? I know you just got off work.
Yeah. So every Monday, right? It's like I have to help the person snack bar with the bar area because, for context, she's the owner's granddaughter, and she's not able to touch the alcohol, but she's able to do everything else. And so I go back and forth between my station and her area to help with the alcohol. And there's like this one red-headed dude. He's like ordering more, but like this dude fucking cracked me up. It's like he's trying to like write something down, but he's like squirreling every 5 seconds. Like that dude made my night.
Well, I'm glad that he did.
Oh yeah.
Oh, excuse me. And Hades, how was your day?
Started off infuriating when I was working, but as I got off, it got better. Came home, jumped on some Red Dead potato, and
Mhm.
eventually fucking took a nap. So mixed day.
Mixed bag? That is a-okay.
Also, first snow today.
Yeah, I saw
Oh, it's
stuff.
already snowing down in Kansas.
Yep.
Yeah, I've been,
I don't know
I've
if
been
it
getting
was the same
notifications
potato.
on that.
Yeah, we didn't get any of that over here.
We did over here.
I've been seeing
Which
notifications.
is weird.
about
You and me are only
snow.
like
We might get some tomorrow because temperature keeps dropping. But yeah, as of today, we didn't get any snow today.
yep. We still have a winter weather advisory.
Yeah.
Hmm. At least it's better than having a tornado warning.
You
Yeah.
have no fucking idea.
Dude, I have started to ignore those because almost every time that there's a tornado warning, I get up, I get myself safety. I have to leave my dog here because I can't take him to the fucking shelters with me. and then we sit there for hours and nothing ever happens. Like I don't get me wrong, I'm grateful that nothing ever happens, but it's like everything always just passes over us and then hits somewhere else every time, every
That
single time.
that's how it
But
ended up being.
I know that the one time that I decide, hey, I'm not going to pay attention to this, that's the time that that tornado is going to fucking touch down in my area. Guarantee it.
It's like some kind of reverse psychology on you.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not ducking until I hear the sirens. Once I hear the sirens, I'll get in a windowless room, and that's about the extent of the safety I'm giving myself.
Just hide in the bathroom or something.
Yeah, fucking exactly. My bathroom's like 5 feet from me and it has no windows.
I can't say the same for my bathroom. It's got two windows, and it is not exactly in the safest part of the house because it's right next to the fucking water heater.
My parents' house is basically the same way. There's a bunch of windows unless you're in the basement.
I wish I had a basement.
Dude, basements are actually like the coolest parts of any kind of house that
Not
I think about.
not that house. The basement looks like a murder basement.
Oh, so it looks like a Dead by Daylight basement.
Yeah, but like not counting all the stuff because the stuff's just my parents. But like, I don't know. When we first looked at that basement, it was creepy. The ceiling is right above your head. There's no scaffolding, so you can see the bare bones of the fucking support. There's this weird 6 foot opening right above the bottom of the fucking stairs. That's nowhere else on the stairs. That's just unexplainable. Perfect for hiding dead bodies.
Oddly specific,
Yeah,
Mr.
very
Mrs.
Yeah,
Oddly
no,
specific.
Is there something you're not telling us?
we noticed it. No, well, we noticed it, and we're like, "This is weird. How big is it?" And my dad's like, "Exactly 6 foot," and we're all like, "Well, that's specifically big enough to hide a body."
Like, out of all
Unless
things you
it's
could have
7 foot.
compared it to.
Well, we're a morbid ass family, so still.
I mean, even if the
Anyways,
guy was 7 foot, you could shave a foot off.
regardless,
That's what they make.
regardless,
That's what they make hacksaws for.
regardless of that topic, what I was hoping to get around to either discussing between all four of us is, let me just ask you all. We consume a little bit of entertainment in our day-to-day lives, movies, TV shows, video games, anything regarding those. Let me ask you all, when was the one time that you actually felt disappointed after it was released? You were hyped up for it before it was released, and then it just sank like the Titanic.
The For me, if I could start with it,
Yes, go ahead.
uh, most recent one would be Overwatch 2, and it has a lot to do with not only like the new battle pass and store mechanic, but also the fact of no story mode, like a lot of people wanted.
Yeah, like that was one of the big things that hyped up Overwatch was the story, or Overwatch 2 was the story mode, and that's just not in it yet. I don't know if they're coming out with it later, but yeah, like a lot of the hype about the story mode just isn't there. Um, and then me a lot of um, the disappointment about the game comes from the people who played the original game, the original Overwatch, and switched over. Like, there's no more loot crates. It's a battle pass now, and like you said, the fucking shop. Um, People like me who saved up all those coins from those loot boxes in the first game, and then like we got to keep that stuff coming over to the second game, but we can't use it to buy any of the new skins. It's a completely different currency that you have to pay real money for, and it's just like, to me that's a little disgusting.
Like I know that there's the whole, oh, you get the game for free, but it's not a thing because you still paid a fucking $40 originally for Overwatch 1, and you're expecting us to pay, like, they're trying to release what is it with new updates as an Overwatch 2, but they did it free instead, just charging like they did with the original game, which
Honestly, I honestly would have preferred if they had just charged the original game, or charged for the second game like the original game, because I would have preferred the loot boxes over this battle pass.
Yeah,
But
honest.
nope, go
Oh,
ahead.
keep going. Okay. Honestly, the whole concept of like the loot crates and the battle passes just kind of it kind of went hand in hand, considering that people were paying like actual legitimate money for something that's not even significant to the game. Like it was mostly cosmetics and whatnot.
And I think the biggest reason why they made the change is because people were buying these loot boxes in the first game, but each loot box is like a random chance kind of thing. You never really know what you're going to get, and a lot of times you can get repeat items, which will give you the in-game currency if you do get a repeat item. Um, but and what they were and I think what they were trying to do with the battle pass is, instead of paying for these loot boxes, which you can easily get for free just by playing the game, you don't have to pay for these loot boxes, you can just play the game and get the loot boxes. um, but what they're doing now is, instead of paying for loot boxes and not having any control of what you're going to get, now they got the battle pass where you pay for the battle pass and you can see everything you're going to get as you level up through the battle pass.
See,
So
my problem with
now,
that, my problem with that is that it really makes you want to dedicate too much time into playing the game because once
well,
once you once you have that amount of time spent on one game, it gives you like one reward and just for leveling up, and it takes forever compared to like getting a loot box.
yeah,
yeah,
and they were giving, like, back on the first one, they were giving up loot boxes left, right, and center, and
you got a loot box every time you leveled up. You got a loot box, like if you did the 3 daily arcade wins in arcade mode, you got a
mm-hmm.
loot box for every 3 wins you got there.
And then
And
once you got 10th win, you've gotten like 4 fucking loot boxes.
yeah, so like you had ways of getting loot boxes for free. You didn't have to spend your money on them, which I think is another reason why they switched to the battle pass, is because with the battle pass they're gonna end up making more money this way than they did with the original loot box system.
But they pissed off a lot of people because a lot of the prime content we want is behind a payment. Like, I don't want to fucking pay for that battle pass, but like,
Yeah.
it's it locks a lot of the shit I do want.
hmm
And I think that's what's so infuriating. If they, I don't know, to me, if they were to, like, either make the battle pass a bit more open and maybe even give one to unique characters, including their skins and like perks, that I think that would be a really good thing to go. But like with it now, it feels like just kind of a shitty way to make money, and
Yeah, like,
not.
it's a shitty money grab, and they're it feels like they shove it down your throat, um, just so that they can make a quick buck.
And the worst part is, it's becoming a trend in a lot of video games
Yeah,
nowadays,
yeah,
where even
Multiverse.
Halo Infinite started off as like it was going to be, it was going to give you the multiplayer first, and then give you the campaign story mode. And the problem is that I was just going to be ready for like it to be like a normal multiplayer game, but now they're adding like all these cosmetics onto the game itself with the battle pass as well.
Locked behind a battle pass.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And the worst part is most of the cosmetic stuff is not even worth it at that point. Like, what are you gonna do when your Spartan has a pair of cat ears on top of his helmet? I kid you not. This is an actual thing.
And isn't that like a first person shooter? So even though you have that cosmetic, you don't see it yourself.
Yeah, everyone else sees it.
But you can't
my
see
God.
through
That-
their
that-
eyes.
Is there any like kill cams or anything?
Yes, there are kill cams.
I was gonna
Okay,
say
so
you get
then
to see
so
yourself
then
every time you
it's a little
die.
bit like Overwatch. Then yeah, you get to see yourself. You get to really enjoy that cosmetic as you watch from the other player's perspective as they kill you. Great.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
totally
right down
enjoyable.
the sniper's reticle and
Totally enjoyable.
Like sniper scope, meow.
just like, well,
Mm,
Ooh woo.
Ooh.
Ooh, ka! Yeah,
Yeah, but I just hate how like most
anyways,
games are like hidden behind paywalls anymore. Hell, even like all the good like mobile app
Yeah.
games are are hidden behind a paywall when you reach a certain part of the game.
where do you think all the big company video game designers get the idea of like paywalls from? They come from the apps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the phone apps is really where it all fucking started.
Yeah, and then the consoles are like, let's do it.
Yeah, because those apps make a lot of money very quickly because people buy into them. And so these video game companies and shit are they look at that, they see that, and they're like, okay, let's try it, see if that'll make us more money, and it fucking works. Like the disgusting thing about it is that it fucking works.
It's a way to grab that money.
It is. It very much is. Like it is an effective way to make money, and I at the end of the day, you can't really fault them for doing it because it works.
And I think that's the part that sucks about it is that it does work.
hmm
And if
Like
people
I,
would,
I even I'm not excluded from this disgusting subject because I purchased the goddamn multiverses battle pass and
I was-
finished that out.
yeah, and
Was it worth it?
In some cases, yes, because I got a skin for Harley Quinn, which is one of the main characters that I wanted to play. But like honestly, overall, I just got a bunch of stuff that I'll never actually use. Like honestly, it feels like I paid for a whole battle pass just to get one skin.
and I think that's where a lot of people don't like it, is that you feel like you pay so much money for so little. You barely want anything out of there, but it's the one thing is locked
Yeah,
behind
it's like
paywall.
that one thing that you do want is blocked behind that paywall, and you have to pay for like all of this other shit that you're not going to use to get the one thing that you want.
Worst part about it? Once that battle pass is over, you can't go back to it.
Yeah, you can't go back to it. It's gone.
Yeah, that's that, and I think that's probably the one that I hate the most. Is that it's like a limited time thing. Like if it was the same battle pass for the entire life of the game and just included every single fucking item, I might be okay. But the fact
No,
that it's
sorry, go ahead.
season based,
Yeah. Now, I will say one game that does Battle Pass right is definitely Fall Guys. At
yes,
least when they first came out. I don't know if they're still doing it the same way as when they first came out because I haven't played the game in a while, but when they first came out, they did have a battle pass, but they did it right. Like all you had to do, you didn't have to pay for anything. All you had to do was play the game, and you would get the battle pass.
See, now
All you had
that's
to do
a
was play
that's
the
a
game.
good concept.
Yeah.
And for the most silly of games too.
Yeah, right. I'm okay,
But
baby. Go back to sleep. Sorry, my daughter
It's
fighting
like
sleep.
that's fine.
it's like with mobile apps that are like story driven, is like it's okay if it's for like the extra content that's not necessarily required or needed for the main story. But the fact that like in order to advance to the next part of the story, you have to pay such and such money.
Oh man.
That
Oh,
Oh, I would never. Oh, I would never.
I
Like if
had
oof,
Go ahead.
like I can understand, like a game that's got this big story, and you play through all the
Yes.
story and it's over, and then they have DLCs which expand on the story.
Like that
That I
makes
can get behind,
sense.
but a game where you have to, like, you've already bought the game and now you have to pay more money to play the game you've already bought.
The way it went for me, I
Yeah,
ha- I
that
have
that
I
makes
have a I have this one app of a game I played, the Silent Age, which it was a free app, but you had to pay $3 to get like the rest of the story, and to me that's fine because the original app was free, and then you pay for the rest of the story.
Yeah, see, if it's like that where the game is like free, but then that's where I could understand the paywall is if the game itself was free. It's like a demo kind of thing. Like you get to play a little bit of it to get you enough to get you interested to pay to purchase the rest of the game and experience it. That I can get,
Like
but
Super Mario Run is the
a
same
game where
way.
you've paid for it. Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's like
I
you
never
play
played it.
through the first world. Like you're able to do majority of stuff like Toad Run and all that. But after the first world, then you have to like pay like I can't remember how much off the top of my head to unlock the other three worlds, I think, and that's that.
Is the first world free?
Yeah, it's pretty. Then you play through that, and then
Okay,
you have to unlock the rest of it. But I don't even
gotcha.
play through the main story. Like there's like this one mode that I just every now and then will play. It's called like Remix 10, where you play through 10 random levels, and just that's that. You can unlock a character that way too. I'm like,
Okay,
what's the point of doing
interesting.
the story if I can just do this and unlock characters for free?
All right. Uh, would that conclude my part of the section on this little topic discussion?
Oh,
if you're finished
it's
with it.
your
Yeah.
it's your section. Like,
I was
are you
well,
done?
I was gonna say like I went over everything with Overwatch, and then we did a little talk about battle passes. So yeah, then it would be whoever decides to go next.
All right. Who would like to go next? Tato? Jedi?
Yeah, I can go next. Mine isn't the one. Yeah, the one that I had thought up isn't really as big as the Overwatch topic, but it is a pretty big one to me. It was the release of Deadpool when Deadpool first came to theaters and stuff. I was in Kuwait, right? Now, don't get me wrong, like Deadpool is to this day one of my favorite films, and it always will be. I love Deadpool. I love that movie. But when I was in Kuwait, I was so hyped. I was so hyped to see this. But on the 2 days that it was actually showing in the theater that we had over there, um, I was on duty, and I run gate, so it's 24 hours. So I missed each viewing of that fucking movie. So I was pissed. I was pissed about that already. And I had made the decision. I wasn't gonna see it um, until we got back in, until it came out on DVD, and I could watch it as it's supposed to be watched in its full glory. But um, all of my buddies around me liked to pirate videos, and they
Oh.
pirated Deadpool. And the guys that I was on shift with, uh, the night before the final, or yeah, actually the day of the final viewing of Deadpool in the theater, yeah, that we had in Kuwait. Um, they brought their laptop and were like, "Hey guys, let's watch the new Deadpool movie. I got a pirated copy." I'm like, "Oh, please no, please no. I don't want to see a bootleg version of this movie. I want to see the movie as it's supposed to be." And they basically told me to fuck off. And so they watched it, and because I was in the vicinity, because I couldn't leave the station, I couldn't go somewhere else and do something else. I had to stay there. So I, by extension, ended up watching this bootleg copy of the movie, and it was so terrible. The quality was so bad, um, and there were entire scenes that were just missing. Like when I went back and watched the actual released cut on DVD, like that bootleg version had so that there were so many scenes that were just missing from the bootleg version. Like it pissed me off, and overall it just degraded the experience of the movie for me.
Sounds like you.
When I actually got to see the actual cut. Um, but still, Deadpool is still one of my favorite movies, and I'll always love it. But when it first came out and I first watched it, the movie was ruined for me because and it was one of the biggest disappointments I've ever had as far as media is concerned.
And if I recall, I'm pretty sure Deadpool 1 and 2 are now on Disney Plus.
They are.
Yeah, I'm
Are
pretty
they?
sure. Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
they
I
are.
saw it on on like a recommended or whatever. I saw Deadpool 1 too. I'm like, oh fuck yeah.
Well,
Nice.
I've got Deadpool and Deadpool 2 on DVD. I'm good. I can watch them whenever the fuck I want.
I'm
You are a legitimate man when it comes to entertainment.
Yes, as far as
Man,
entertainment is
culture.
concerned, like I understand people who pirate videos. Like I get it. You don't want to pay for videos; it saves you money. But like I'm all about giving credit to the people who make these movies, and giving them the payment they deserve, because when you pirate a video, it's like they say, it's not a victimless crime. You
It
know
hurts
it
the people who are trying to make this film.
Yeah, it hurts the content creators that created the movie, the actors, um, the box offices. It takes money out of their pocket each time you seed off of a pirated website. Um, but like but I do understand the appeal to pirating videos, but I will never do it myself, because I just I like having the actual copy, like the genuine high quality copy, because I like having the best experience when watching this movie. I like having the best quality, the best sound, the best everything. I don't like hearing a guy coughing in my ear every 5 fucking seconds because you recorded it in the theater.
I get that, and like hell, even a digital copy on like say the Microsoft Store or even the PlayStation Store where you watch those movies online,
Hmm.
that also works for me because the
Hmm.
best thing about like Microsoft is since most of us run on Windows 10, there's like a little movies and TVs app. Since I bought most of the movies and shows that I have on my Xbox, I could just pull it up on my PC anytime I want to watch, like say the Star Wars saga or something like that.
Hmm.
I was gonna say even like a stream thing, like your Hulu's, your Netflix, your HBO's Max, your Disney Pluses, is like those are even better. Like those are better than the fucking pirated versions, because at least then some of the revenue that they're getting from your account, goes to those.
Yeah, and it's not just that. Like, the revenue is good. The creators are getting, the recognition they need, in the rightful pay. But the streaming services that you're paying into there that are legitimate, they give you the quality versions of these movies that you expect to get from a theater. And I have to be right back. My kid is woken up again.
So, moral of the story is don't pirate your entertainment, folks.
Yeah, pirating is bad. But yeah, that's actually how I watched Force Awakens for the first time.
Pirated?
A friend of mine, yeah, a friend of mine sent me like a link or something to the movie that somebody had online, and that's how I watched it for the first time.
I'm
And
back.
like none of the scenes were missing, but it's like it just wasn't the same. Like it wasn't that same
Yeah.
experience of like having the theater snacks, drinks, like sitting in chair watching the film firsthand.
Like even if it wasn't the theater experience that I wanted for that movie, like even if it was just even if I was just sitting down by myself with the DVD copy watching it on a fucking laptop, like I would have been happy with that. But like if that was the first time I had seen that movie, but because the fucks that I worked with, they didn't care that I didn't want to see this. They were like, no, we're gonna watch this and you can fucking deal with it. And so my experience for that movie was completely ruined.
I was gonna say that's probably the worst part of it. They didn't even they weren't even like when you said please no, they weren't even like okay. They were just like nah, get fucked.
Yeah, pretty much.
Also, back to earlier when you were saying like
Like
bootleg Deadpool, I'm like, oh, we downloaded the wrong Deadpool movie.
yeah, no. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for my piece. If you want to
Well,
go ahead with yours, Jedi.
but once again, before we continue onwards, just so you know, everyone that's listening to this on Spotify, YouTube, wherever we post this, we do not condone any pirating of any entertainment at all, whether it's musics or TV shows, anything at all. We do not condone it.
Yeah, I understand the appeal, but I don't condone it, and I don't myself agree with it.
For our legal safety, don't do it.
For our legal safety.
For our legal
You
safety.
shouldn't do it in general.
Well, yeah, don't
You
do it in
shouldn't do it
general,
in
but
general, but for our legal
My-
safety,
my-
for
my
our
lawyer-
legal safety, you should, that's a bit of an incentive for
Yeah,
you
so-
specifically.
yes,
My-
so you're not like,
my-
but
my
Torrent
lawyer,
said
my
to
lawyer
do
job,
it.
advised me to say don't pirate content.
But Torch said I could do it. No, the fuck we did not.
No, we did not.
We do not condone that type of shit.
Don't put words in our mouth.
You ain't dragging us down with you.
Our singular mouth. Don't
Singular
put words
we
into it.
share a
Yeah.
mouth, and it all has no
You heard
filter.
the Marty. You think you ain't.
We are
You're not-
legion.
You're not the martyr you think you are trying to take us down.
God.
Anyways, Jedi, would you like to share a story of your own?
Yes, and I feel like this might be a mutual experience. So everyone knows how when you go to a movie, like this is also pertaining to movie theaters. Like when you go to a movie theater and you have the acoustic walls, right? To where some scenes they're like more intense because it's like the sound's bouncing and vibrating off the walls, and you can like feel like whatever
Yes.
the scene's like happening, right? Like the biggest example would be like Venom, right? Like when Venom will come out and you hear his voice, you feel like the deepness of
You
his
feel
voice,
the
right?
bass.
Yeah, you can feel it, or like when they roar or whatever, you can feel it, right? But then you go and watch it on like DVD, and it's like, where's the magic? Where's the feeling?
Well,
See-
that's less to do with the movie itself, like the DVD itself, and more to do with your sound system and how you're experiencing this movie. Like if you have like your own little home entertainment center set up with surround sound, you're gonna get that same experience in the theater in your living room. But if you don't have that surround sound and
And
you're just
just your
watching it on a
TV.
TV, then yeah, obviously you're not going to have that same experience because a TV cannot deliver the same experience as a theater. You
To build
need
off
you need more than just the TV.
to build off of what Tato just said, Jacob, we still have it, but he bought like a home like a sound bar and like surround sound with a subwoofer, and the games sound amazing on that. It very much does depend on the equipment because the games, the movies, hell, we watched Halloween ends on it, and it was a really good experience because of how good the equipment was.
Hmm.
So yeah, it depends on what you have available. So that's not so much the
Yeah,
movie's fault.
as it's not so much the movie's fault. It's more of the equipment that you have to work with. Like you can't see a movie in a theater and then plug that disc into your goddamn laptop and expect to have the same experience.
I don't know, but it's like you like your
Right.
body kind of just like is like braces for it. It's like it's ready, and then the scene happens. Like it's kind of disappointed, you know. Like that's just kind of my personal thing. It's like Venom 2, like like when they say like Carnage, like I felt that like I was like, oh my god, this is fucking awesome. Watch it at home, like I feel disappointed.
Yeah, and I mean, I can kind of get where you're coming from, but again, it's less of the movie's fault and more of you know the equipment you have available, because that's honestly the biggest appeal of a theater, because not everybody has that equipment, that like that surround sound stuff. Not everybody can afford it, or not everybody wants all of that stuff in their living room. They would rather fill their home with other things, which is completely understandable, which is why theaters have that appeal, which is why I think it's really cool that some theaters do showings of movies that have already been released, just so that you can experience, your favorite movies in the theater setting if you didn't get to the first time around.
I do remember there was like before I moved to Maryland, like the Salina movie theater. It was like the 40th anniversary of Empire Strikes Back, and like I saw it. I'm like, this is really cool. I didn't know like movie theaters did that. Like reran
Mhm.
like older movies. Um,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh
like
yeah, they okay.
Oh god.
yeah, like it's one thing to rerun an old movie for like a 40 and 50th anniversary. Let me just tell you this. At one of the venues down in Richmond, there was one time where they actually had a symphony orchestra conduct and play the soundtrack of Star Wars Empire Strikes Back.
Ah, you lucky bitch. You lucky bitch.
It was beautiful, let me tell you.
Man, I'm
I, I
jealous.
can imagine. I can imagine.
But anyways, to continue, Jedi.
That's kind of the end of it. It's why I prefer going to movie theater more. Like I'm willing to spend like money for each showing just to relive that movie theater magic. You know, I
Yeah,
just
and
like
I
that
I get
feeling.
that.
I love that feeling
Yeah,
of
no, I
like the
get that. And
intenseness of the scene.
you
It makes
know,
you feel more
yeah,
involved or more in depth with the scene. Makes you feel more things.
immersed. It makes you feel
Yeah,
more
feeling more
immersed in the
immersed. Yeah.
experience. Yeah, and I get that. I said that that's the biggest appeal of a movie theater, is that people who don't have those big surround sounds, that can't get that movie theater experience every time they plug a movie into their system. Like they go to movie theaters to get that experience, because they can't get it any other way. And I've always appreciated movie theaters for that movie theater experience.
Mhm.
Like I watched How to Train Your Dragon 3 in movie theaters, and like it is like, and you're right, it is a vastly different experience than sitting down and watching it on Disney Plus,
Not just sitting down.
or not
If you
Disney
go
Plus, on DVD. Sorry.
if you go down to if you go down to Roswell, New Mexico, there is a movie theater where you know how every movie theater has like those foldable like chairs that you have to pull down the seat just so you can sit them?
Yes, I do remember those.
Like the cheaper ones, yeah. I've also went to ones that have like reclining chairs, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me tell
I've
you.
always been to the higher end ones.
Me too.
Let me tell you a bit about New Mexico's Roswell, New Mexico's movie theater.
Mhm.
They have reclining couches.
reclining
Ah,
couches.
Like you could adjust the the seats for all these couches to where you're just laying back with your feet kicked up and just watching the movie. Like I went down to visit a friend of mine that I known for about 13 years now, and he took me to watch Aquaman. And the minute I saw the couches, I was immediately mesmerized by the theater.
Dude, I couldn't sit in a theater like that. I couldn't watch a movie in a theater like that because if I'm kick my feet up and recline back and I'm watching this movie, 9 times out of 10 I am going to fall asleep and it will have been a waste of my money.
Oh yeah, I fell asleep at the third quarter.
I
ah.
I had a similar like I don't usually fall asleep with the movies like now, but I had a similar like experience the first time I went to go watch Black Panther because we went to the B&B theaters. I reclined and I kept falling asleep. But
Yeah, yeah, I could never do a theater like as awesome as it sounds. I could probably never do that because I would fall asleep during the movie and it would have just been wasted.
This is why I try to be like as uncomfortable as I can be at a movie theater. That way, I am awake and attentive of the movie,
Well, I still like to be comfortable. Like I
but
still
not
I
that
want to be
comfortable.
comfortable when I'm watching this movie. But yeah, but yeah, like not comfortable enough where I'm gonna fall asleep, halfway through the
Yeah.
movie and miss the last half of it.
If you want to be uncomfortable, become as paranoid as I was back in 2021 of October while I was watching My Hero Academia during the pandemic.
Like head on a swivel. Cough. Who was that?
Dude, that was literally me last year, and then me and me now. I'm just wandering around with no mask in my workplace, and I'm just like, okay,
I
Yeah,
was gonna say
like
you hear me.
honestly, this whole virus was overhyped. Like I know it's killed people, um,
It,
and I
5.6 million actually.
but like so does the flu. And people like I don't get vaccinated for the flu. Like I don't do it. I trust my immune system to fight it off if I get it. Because I've
yes,
had the flu before. I've had the flu before, and I actually did get COVID. I got the Delta variant, and yeah, it fucking sucks. But I lived
I
through it. My kid lived through it.
I got it twice, and so did Jacob. And I was so worried each time Jacob got it because Jacob has so much problems with his lungs that it could have been devastating.
Now,
And like,
see, in the cases of people with lung conditions and health risks and stuff like that, I can understand getting the vaccine and wanting to protect yourself that way.
yeah,
Completely understand. But for someone who's completely healthy, there's nothing wrong with them, and their immune system is strong and there's nothing wrong with it. Like, and I am of course using myself as an example. Like uh, I like to think I have a pretty good immune system because I don't get sick very often, and when I do, it doesn't last very long.
Must
I
be
think
at
nice.
yeah, it really is. I
at
think
the
the
time
longest I've
though,
ever been sick is 2 weeks. Is the longest I've ever been sick, and that was when I had COVID.
and we still don't completely understand it is the problem. And here's the thing, it can kill people even when you have a good immune system. I think that's the scary part about it is because like I do know people who have died who have I thought they had a fairly good immune system, but COVID was able to claim them.
Well,
And so yeah. but I get what you're saying. Like, go get vaccinated, and then you should be fine. Is the thing.
Oh,
Mhm.
trust me, I already went in, ahead and did that like months ago, and back when
But
it was like starting to roll out, and I've been fine since. And then that kind of just improved my it reduced the paranoia that I was feeling about this whole pandemic, and then I just got to the point where I just stopped worrying.
yeah,
I love how we went from
honestly,
movie
I got it
theaters to
twice.
COVID.
and-
Hey,
Yeah, I really veered us off topic. My
Yes,
apologies.
on your own episode of all episodes.
well, to kind of bring us back, I guess. Rogue, it's your turn.
Okay, okay. When it comes to when it comes to entertainment, there is always one series that I will love no matter what happens to it, and that is the Resident Evil series.
Hmm. I've actually
And
been watching Markiplier play one of the most recent Resident Evils, and it actually looked really interesting.
yeah, like I played it when I was like in my teens, where actually Resident Evil 4 and 5 were actually my first, and not a good place to start. But then but
that
I
was my
did
first.
I did go back and play like the original like PlayStation 1 version of Resident Evil 1 and 2.
No, no, no. You know what a bad place to start would have been from? Starting from number 6.
Ooh, we don't want to talk about 6.
Oh
But
Hades, shut your mouth.
but there is one there is one thing, actually there are two things that was disappointing about the Resident Evil series. It's the movies that they made.
my God! Yes.
Yeah,
Did they make movies?
they did.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
They made
there's
two types.
so let me ask you all, do you know the a man by the name of Paul W.S. Anderson?
No,
No,
not familiar.
I believe so, but I'd have to relook up. I think.
He
Oh.
is the director of all the all the
Oh.
original Resident Evil movies from like 2002 to, I don't know, when was the last?
Uh, I'm looking. I got his Wikipedia page pulled up right now. Although he did do Event Horizon.
Event
But he
Horizon was it was okay. But
he did
yeah,
the he did Resident Evil Afterlife,
he went
Resident
from
Evil
Resident
Retribution.
yeah, all of them. All of them are directed by him
Yeah.
and had one character that had nothing to do with the original series, and most of the actual characters like Wesker, Chris Redfield, Claire Redfield, all the characters that were actually part of the game were just like brought in as like side protagonists, not even important to the film. No, it was about Mila Jovovich, aka Project Alice, that was like, okay, she was this overall top of the notch character that was so good, could fight in like melee hand to hand while she had amnesia in the first film, had telekinetic powers out of nowhere. It was just like, look, I understand like
His wife is Mila Jovovich, if that makes any.
exactly. Paul W.S. Anderson self-inserted Jovovich into this series, and I was just sitting there thinking, okay, but what? Why are we going down this route?
I was gonna say it was. They were all disappointing. I remember watching a few. One I can't remember what it was, where they were in like a some kind of fake town, and the only one I recognized was Ada Wong, and fucking Leon came in at the end, and he didn't even look that good in the movie. No offense to Leon, Leon fucking hunk, but
Yeah, yeah. Leon in the game is pretty decent and actually feels like a legitimate person. And if none of you, which I'm guessing it's just Tato and Jedi, who have never played the games,
My only
like I said, I played
Yeah, like
4
the only
and 5.
the only exposure to Resident Evil that I actually have is playing the DLCs for Dead by Daylight and watching other YouTubers uh do playthroughs of the most recent one.
my
I
only.
For
Okay.
me, it's I've played 4, 5, part of 6, and part of 7. I never beat 7. Uh, and then I watched Mark play all the way through, or I watched Jack play all the way through 8, and I was watching him and Mark do the Shadow of Rose DLC.
My only exposure to
Um,
Resident Evil in any capacity was like 50 minutes of gameplay through Resident Evil 7 Biohazard on the PlayStation VR, and that shit was nerve rattling.
yeah, I remember that because I'm like, go over there, go over there. I'm not going over there.
I'm not going over there. Fuck you.
okay, but what is this title that you have for your video? Don't
Don't
get
get
caught by
caught by
daddy.
daddy. What the fuck?
Oh, they keep calling him Daddy throughout it, like Daddy's gonna get you.
Yeah, one of the characters
Oh,
being referred to
okay.
as Daddy, so I was playing off of that.
Jack Baker.
Okay.
There's your
It's been so
context,
long since
Twismix.
I've
He
actually
didn't.
played
Okay,
seven.
okay. It says he didn't actually direct Resident Evil Apocalypse or Extinction, but he did actually direct Afterlife and Retribution and Final Chapter. But on Apocalypse and Extinction, he was an executive writer and producer.
Which oddly enough, Resident Evil Apocalypse was like the most close to when the game's continuity as you can get. Like just remove the self-insert indestructible main character, and then yeah, you got Resident Evil 3 right there as a movie.
I'm not, and I would love to see the like the games, get their actual fucking movies.
And oh boy, but there's also a downside to that too, because
I know you got.
because there's a new movie that came out last year called Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. And while I do appreciate all the inside jokes and Easter eggs that all the games actually brought in for this movie, it felt like a lackluster cash grab of a video game movie that you could get. Like, you ever seen a movie that was based off of a video game? This was like a good example of it.
Mortal Kombat.
I've seen a
Mortal
few.
Kombat's one.
I've seen a few.
I was the newest one, kind of, not the old ones. The old ones sucked fucking ass.
Yeah, I watched some of the old Mortal Kombat movies. I was not a fan. I think the only game that ever got turned into a movie that I actually did like, which and this is a very unpopular opinion,
Blood
but
Rain?
no, Warcraft for World of Warcraft.
I never saw Warcraft.
I've seen
Yeah,
trailers. It looks
Warcraft
good.
was yeah, like honestly, if you've never played World of Warcraft, you will like that movie. That movie is absolutely fantastic. Even if you did play World of Warcraft, you might still like it, but a lot of the people's problems with the movie is that it like it doesn't follow a lot of the quest lines to the T. Like, and I always thought that was kind of silly because like there is a lot that goes on in that game. You can't fit all of it into the fucking movie. It's only got it's only an hour and some odd minutes long. You can't expect everything to make it into that time frame.
Which oh, Brad.
But overall, it is a great movie and a great story.
That's I think, and I will always say this: if you're ever going to adapt a video game, do not do a movie. Do a series. The series allows you a lot more time to explore the little intricacies of a character, the little things that make them perfect.
Which is actually a big reason why I like Arcane so much. Because Arcane is it's a series. It's a Netflix original series based on League of Legends. I hate League of Legends. I used to love that game. I used to play that game religiously, constantly. I was very big into that game, but I've said multiple times that I went through 7 laptops playing that game. I cannot allow myself to go back to that game ever for any reason.
As
How
you
did
played with
you?
us the other day.
But the Netflix series Arcane, that show is breathtaking. It's absolutely amazing. And if you've never actually played League of Legends, if you watch Arcane, it is honestly a really awesome experience. It might even get you to want to play the game. Don't
Don't do
play
it.
the game. Don't
Don't
do
do
it.
it.
Don't do it.
I
You
did
know
Don't.
what?
record like 4 episodes. Of
Funny
it.
enough, funny
Every-
enough, funny enough, Cyberpunk actually has its own Netflix series right now, Cyberpunk Edge Runners, and I played through I played through 2077, and that was okay to say the least. As soon as I watched Edge Runners, I was just like, okay, yeah, I'm going back in. I'm gonna do 2 or 3 more playthroughs of it.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say I've heard that Edge Runners is really good. I haven't watched it myself because I wanna get through the game before I actually watch the stuff. But yeah, and Jacob, I'm fucking waiting on his ass to always watch shit like that because he wants to watch it together, but the dude's fucking never off.
But rewinding a bit, back to Welcome to Raccoon City. It really did not know how to let the story flow at times, where it was trying I saw what it was trying to do. It was trying to cram in the first and second Resident Evil and try to
Uh,
make it into one. The problem is both of these events with the Spencer Mansion incident and the whole destruction of Raccoon City of like the T virus being spread to the whole town. They both happen in 2 separate dates in the timeline, and the cramming it all in would just make it a whole cluster. And, and pardon my language, by the way, but a whole clusterfuck of just a conglomerate mess of like how to let the story flow.
Yeah.
like I
And
understand that. Oh, good.
I was actually just gonna say that a lot of people feel the same way about books being made into movies because like there's a lot of information in books or comics that just there's too much information. You can't fit it all into a movie, so that's another big reason why a lot of people who read the book before the movie comes out are always disappointed with the movie because it's not what they read or what they what they um grew up with, so to speak.
A good example of this would probably be like the Harry Potter series or
Yes,
Lord of the Rings.
that is exactly, yeah, Lord of the Rings, especially, um because like there was the whole Smaug thing that apparently, like, I never read the books. I never read the Lord of the Ring books, but the the whole second movie where they're dealing with Smaug, apparently a lot of that just didn't happen.
It was just added in.
Yeah, apparently a lot of that movie just didn't happen. Now
Hobbits.
I can't confirm or deny this because, like I said, I haven't read the books, but I've heard it from people who have read the books that say that that whole second movie was unnecessary because it wasn't in the book. Um, and then when the third movie came out, um, or I'm sorry, not Lord of the Rings, sorry, the Hobbit series. The Hobbit series is what I'm referring
Yeah, I was
to.
about to say, isn't
Yeah,
Smaug kind of
yeah.
a
Yeah, I'm sorry. I realized that where I messed up. Yeah, I'm referring to the Hobbit series right now. But yeah, like the whole second movie with Smaug, apparently a lot of that just didn't happen in the book. And then
The
uh
Battle of Five Armies.
um in the third movie when they just killed Smaug off in like the first 5 minutes of the movie, it was like, what?
That feels insulting.
it
Yeah,
is
like it
insulting.
was it is like it was the most underwhelming thing to ever, like, it was the most underwhelming experience I've ever had watching a movie, other than, the Deadpool thing. Like the Deadpool thing was just disappointing, but this was like under the most underwhelming thing. Because like, on the topic of disappointing media, like the third movie when Smaug got to Rivendell, and or whatever, I think it was called Rivendell, um, and started destroying everything, and then the guy just kills Smaug within the first 5 minutes of the movie. Like, that was the most underwhelming feeling that I've ever had watching a movie or experiencing a movie. Like, the rest of the movie was great. It's just like they killed the big bad, the big bad guy from the last movie in the first 5 minutes of the third movie. Like, what was the point of the whole second movie if you were just going to kill him off in the first 5 minutes of the next one?
I was gonna say, is that
Ask Ryan Johnson about that one.
unclear? Fair enough.
I mean, Avengers kind of do that.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Didn't Avengers do that?
Fair enough. Oh, why didn't you get all the way up? But yeah,
Like the only book to movie adaptation I've ever seen was The Giver. But after reading the book and everything, the movie
I've seen
actually
it
did it.
too.
The movie
that
did it more
sucked.
justice than the book did, because like the way the movie portrayed it, it gave more in depth to how like the characters actually felt than how the book did. Because I guess with how they interpreted it to me, like it didn't quite feel as like just seeing through a new eyes as the movie did, where it showed going from the black and white to holy shit, there's color.
And
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
I
that,
never
yeah.
actually saw that movie, but
But it's good. I
I did
promise
read
you.
the book because I read, the only reason why I even read that book was because it was an English class
Same.
thing.
same.
Yeah.
Same.
That's why I actually did it, and then our teacher had us watch the movie.
That's
Yeah,
pretty much how I found it. Too.
we never actually, we were supposed to watch the movie, but we never actually got to watch the movie. I don't remember why, but we never actually did watch the movie.
That sucks.
Honestly, that was a good. To me personally, reading both the book and watching the movie, it's a pretty accurate depiction of what I imagined the book was trying to portray.
Hmm.
And there's some movies
The
that'll
Romeo
actually
and
capture
Juliet
it
movie.
better.
The Romeo and Juliet movie was pretty accurate.
Which one?
Are you talking about the one with Leonardo DiCaprio and guns?
No, not Romeo X Julio, but there was like no. I'm talking like
Oh
one from
my
like
god,
the.
that version
That was
of
That was
Romeo
terrible.
and
funny.
Juliet was the stupidest thing,
Bro,
bro.
no,
Dude, and
no.
We
also,
watched that.
also
We
when
watched
she
that in my English class in
when,
high school, and I was so bored. It was so cringy. I've never wanted to just get up and leave a classroom
Like,
before I
no
The
watched
worst
shade
part
toward
is it
DiCaprio.
was
Yeah.
It
it
was
was
not your
using
best.
it was using the actual like dialogue from Romeo and
Oh,
Juliet.
yeah.
Like
oh,
didn't even alter it to make it modern
I
day. It was
know.
just everyone quoting from the book.
Yeah.
And
Like and that's the reason why my English teacher chose that movie is because they didn't falter from the lines of the actual play. They just they just took it and then put a modern adaptation to it with the words being the same. And it was so stupidly boring, bro.
like cometh here, fool.
And it was so it was so cringy.
I
Like
watched one.
when the guy said, "Fetch me my long sword," and then reaches for a fucking Uzi.
sharp
Like what
little
the
Uzi.
fuck?
Fetch me
What
my
the
long sword.
fuck?
Okay. That could be funny. That could be funny in the right context, but in that movie it was just kind of eh.
It's funny without context.
Like,
Fetch me like my long sword.
now I feel like
He-
DiCaprio
he
made up
leverages-
for book to movie adaptation with The Great Gatsby. I think he did
Wait.
better than that.
Wait.
Ooh.
Was that Leonardo DiCaprio? Or was that
It
Zac
was
Efron?
no,
It was
DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Was it okay? Zac Efron must have been in the other one, the one that was actually okay. This one, I
That
don't remember
was
when it
not
was
Zac
made, but
Efron.
it's like but it was like this older one, and the way that they had it go was it was the normal thing, but they had the dialogue, understandable. Wasn't in fucking Shakespearean speech. And like while I do like my certain Shakespearean monologues like from fucking Mass Effect, you gotta be careful with how and when you do it, because an hour and a half of just Shakespearean talk is gonna fucking, pull a board.
Yeah, the one you're thinking of, it was not Zac Efron at all. His name was actually Leonard Whiting.
Jesus. Looks like fucking Zac Efron. Actually, kind of looks like Mark Hamill.
It's like you're talking about the
remember correctly.
1968 version. I know exactly what you're talking about. That it's not Zac Efron. I even thought so too, but I looked it up. It's like no, it's not. It's not him.
I was like, because that was my first thought when it's on. I'm like, is that Zac Efron? But then it's
Why
like,
would you think
it's
a
a 60s
movie in
movie.
the 60s had
I don't
Zac
know.
Efron?
Now, hold
Okay,
on.
but
I will
I
show
Do
you.
you think he's a vampire?
He could be. If Robert Pattinson can be one, why can't he?
Oh, don't bring
Don't go down
Twilight
Twilight.
into it.
Dude, he hates
Don't bring
that.
Twilight
Hey,
into it.
we're talking about book to movie adaptations. It can come into this.
Dude, I never read the Twilight books. I have no interest in reading the Twilight books. I watched the Twilight movies because my mother and my sister were really big on the Twilight series, and then my ex was really big on the Twilight series too, so I was constantly watching it with her because it made her happy. And I just like that is definitely the worst thing that Robert Pattinson ever did for himself.
I feel bad for Robbie.
I really do. Like honestly, like he will always be Cedric Diggory for me.
Same.
But because he did Twilight, like his whole image is just it's just tainted now because of those movies.
I think I told you guys. Robert Pattinson actually admitted to having to be on drugs to even make it through the audition.
Yeah,
and
you
the
have
movie.
said that. Like and like my ex always said, no one hates the Twilight series more than Robert Pattinson.
It's true.
Sure,
And
words have
it
never
is,
been
yeah,
spoken.
it's true. Like he hates that shit. He hates being called Edward and shit.
Honestly, I would want to give that man like a lot of moral support with the fact that he was given the role as Batman in the recent Batman movie.
Oh, he did really good in the Batman.
I am very displeased to say that I have not seen that yet. I very much want to. I want to see how well he did with it.
One of these
Yeah,
days we should definitely hold
I
off
recommend
moving
it.
Actually, now that I'm thinking of it, Devin, how are we doing on time?
I'm combining the first bit and
Yeah.
the second bit. We are looking about an hour 13.
Okay, not
Too
bad.
long?
Not bad actually.
Not bad.
I'd say we got a pretty in-depth conversation and topics to go around.
And definitely
this,
got our opinions
this
out there on things, yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think this was a really good session.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think we got a good amount of discussion.
Yeah,
And
I think
do you
we're good.
think that we should be good for now?
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right.
I don't really have anything else to really say on the topic. So yeah, I think we've had a good run to for this one.
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad.
Yeah, think we got a lot of interesting conversations in.
All right. Well, I would like to be the first to say to our listeners, thank you so much for listening to us ramble on about the about disappointing media, whether it be whether it's movies, books, and otherwise. And wow, we really had a long conversation about that.
I was gonna say, yeah, this is another returning topic like the other one.
Anyways, I'm Rogue Leader and with Shady Potato, Chaotic Jedi, and Hades Shadow Gaming. And we would like to say good night and stay safe out there.
Yep. Have a good night, everybody. See
Don't
you all
pirate
in
your
the next
movies.
one. Yeah, don't pirate your
Don't
movies.
pirate the movies.
And if you hear someone cough,
Don't
run.
pirate them.
Oh my god.
God damn it.
I hate you. I hate you.